Hey, good evening. This is your girl, Dr. O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, known as your procrastination strategist, your behavior change expert, where I help you to build unshakable confidence. Let's get this volume turned up. I help you to stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. Let's have a little late night chats with Dr. O. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I'm super excited. I can't see who is there. So if you could just go ahead and invite someone. Go ahead and invite someone. And if you would, hit the share button. Yeah, hit the share button. I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to invite a few people myself. Let's invite a few people. Yes. Super excited to be here tonight. Just, I miss you all this morning. I had to go in a different direction, but here I am. Yes, here I am. Good evening, Pastor Jeffrey. Late night chat in the house. Good evening, Nikita. Good evening, Mary. Thank you all so much for joining. Good evening, Anthony. Thank you all so much for joining. I miss you all this morning, so I decided that we was going to come on here so you can take me not to sleep with you, but you can go to sleep with some things on your mind. So come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. I'm super excited. And somebody told me the other day, you're always excited. But honestly, I am. You know, a lot of days I'm pretty excited. Most days. Now, do I like everything that happened? Of course not. And if I said I did, I would be lying. And so, anyway, I want to talk to you just a little bit about thinking different. I want to talk about thinking different. You know, so many of us, we heard or we seen some of the foolishness that went on last night. And so when you think about, we have to think different. We have to change our way of thinking, and we have to change our way of speaking. We have to change our way of moving, doing, and taking action. It's all a good evening, Pastor Stanley. Thank you so much for joining. We have to change the way we think. So as I am in the process of wrapping up an assignment that I have been on for the last 7 weeks, when I tell you I heard, I experienced a lot of things over the last 7 weeks. I probably couldn't even remember all of it. But I think every time something come up similar to it, I'm able to bring it back up to my memory. But this is my thing. I want to share with you that and I know this is not Tuesday, this is not Thursday, but this is just keeping it real with Coach O. We suffer, and the Bible says this. We suffer from the lack of knowledge. He said that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. A lot of things that we're doing without, a lot of things that we don't have, a lot of things that we're not doing, you know what? It is merely because of ignorance. And it is merely because of ignorance. And what ignorance is the lack of knowledge. It is the lack of knowledge. So therefore, we think that we got to have the lowest of the lowest. We think that we got to have the worst of the worst. We think that we cannot have anything. We sing the same old song year after year after year after year. Good evening, Sherry. Thank you so much for joining. But do you know that you have power to change? To change. But it is the way we think. And as I said, I believe it was just on yesterday, you have a lot of people, they are busy, they're broke, they're bougie, they got attitudes and things. And we don't, it's good evening, good evening, Elder Anderson. Thank you so much for joining. We are just ignorant, if we can just be honest. We'll get mad to be called ignorant. We would get offended. We would catch a straight attitude because, and you know what? We'll catch an attitude about it, but we don't try to go learn nothing. We don't try to go do nothing. One thing I used to do on my job is every time I had this one person, he was a Jew. He didn't like women. And so he always wanted to challenge you, but he didn't know nothing. He didn't know nothing to challenge me. So every time he wanted to challenge me, I just learned something that he didn't know. And there is nothing wrong with learning. A lot of us, we have an attitude. Good evening, Roletta. Thank you so much for joining. A lot of us have an attitude that we're not in school. When do learning stop? When is it that learning stop? Yes, Anthony, it is just plain ignorance. And in your voice, get to the back so that those that want to know, those that are trying to know, those that have a desire to know, so we can hear and we can see. You standing up right in the middle of a teaching, excuse me, you got to go to the bathroom. Excuse me, you got a more important thing to listen to on your phone and all these things. Lifelong learning, yes. How is it that we think that we are arrived when we don't have no legacies? We don't have no name. Only name we have is a bad name. We just have a name for being ghetto, crazy, this, that. Can I just be honest? And this is not them talking about us. This is me. And I don't care who get mad, because, y'all get mad. Good evening, Dolores. Thank you so much for joining. But it is just the lack of knowledge that the people will perish. But you know what? Everything that we need is already out here. Imagination is the biggest nation. And if you cannot put a picture in your head of what you want, you can't put a picture in your head of what you're going to do, what you're going to have. See, me, I always put an image in my head. I put an image in my mind. I don't even care if it's the course of my day. If I know I have a lot of things to accomplish in a day's time, I always tell myself that I'm mapping it out in my head first. So I know I don't have to get overwhelmed in my mind because I have mapped out my day in my head. We have everything we need. And in my girls with letter voice, quitting is not an option. It is not an option. And some of us have come to the conclusion that I don't have to be begging for bread. I don't have to do nothing strange for no change. I don't have to not value myself. I don't have to sell myself short because I want to be bought or because I want to be seen or because I want to be viewed and because I want to be heard. I don't have to do none of that. But we have to know that what we need, because see, the word that I read, it says that he is no respecter of person. So when he said no respecter of person, he's no respecter of person of people that don't look like me, people that's a different shade than me, a lighter brown than me, somebody that may be chocolate, caramel, I don't know. But you know why we don't have nothing? I'm glad you asked. I'll tell you. Because we don't think we can have nothing. And a lot of us, we don't want nothing. We don't want nothing. Because, see, we think in order for us to get it, that it's going to be free. We think in order for us to get it, that we got to get a hookup. We think in order for us to get it, it got to be discounted. See, a lot of us, we shop. I'm trying. And I came on here because when I see and when I hear some of the foolishness that we let come out of our mouth, it's irritating. A lot of times we shop from the sleeve versus the collar. Because if you go running up and looking at the price to see how much it costs, now all of a sudden what you thought was cute, you don't like it no more. Did you hear me? Do you hear me? You thought it was cute off of a distance until you got up and looked at the sleeve and you saw the price on the sleeve. Instead of you looking at the collar, you looked at the sleeve and like, no, I don't like that no more. But you know what I tell myself? If I can imagine it, I will have anything and everything I want. Yes, that's the way I think about it, Roletta. If I can have it, if I can have an image in my mind, I can have it in my hand. If I can have a picture in my head, anything that I want, I can have it in my hand. Always want something for nothing. It's always a bargain thing. Can I get a bargain, a hookup? Go sit down somewhere. Go sit down. Because I would rather pay for what I want and get what I want versus you giving me what you want because you say it's free. You ain't paying nothing. No, I like what I like. I like what I like. Good morning. Good evening, Dr. V. Thank you so much for joining. So even when I sit at my workspace, this right here, this is nothing but, this is just a regular picture. This is just a regular picture that I got printed off at Walmart. I found this image. Good evening, Gloria. And I look at this all through the day. Think differently. You got to stop thinking like 2010. You got to stop thinking like 2000. Because see, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. And just because they don't value your life and they didn't open up things and they didn't told you don't need to wear no mask and we releasing all the restrictions. And guess what we doing? We running out here, flocking out here, giving these people our hard working money. They don't care nothing about us. They don't care nothing about us. And I ain't talking about no black and white. This is about business. This is about bottom line. I am different and I have to think different. Yes. We have to use sometimes common sense. Everything don't have to be, dropped in. Some things we have to use common sense. We have to think differently. We cannot continue to think the same way. We cannot. You hear so many people. I'm waiting for stuff to get back to normal. Some of that mess that we was in, I don't want to go back to that. Some of the stuff that we was in, we need to been out of it. But you know what? Do you know what? A lot of times we have a way of escape and we'll run ourselves right back into what we got out of. How many times have you gotten yourself out of debt? How many times have you been out of a relationship? How many times have you been out of a situation, but then you find yourself right back in that same situation? Why? Because you didn't change your paradigm. You didn't change your habit. You just did it because it was a 30-day program. You did it. And that's why I don't understand how is it that we believe that we ain't arrived nowhere. Good evening, Brittany. Thank you so much for joining. This is a continuous thing. We have to continuously have improvement somewhere. So as you may have worked in one area, you ain't through. And for those that need proper English, you are not finished. You're not finished. You are not finished. There's a work for us to do. There's a continuous work that we have to do. We have to continue to learn. My people perish for the lack of knowledge. You didn't get it all when you was in high school. You didn't get it when you took those first courses, when you started college and you quit. You didn't get it with your first degree. We have degrees running right off the end of our business cards, and we have titles running off the end of our emails. We got it all. We have the degrees. But even with us having the degrees, there is a continuous work for us to continuously to improve. And the improvement that we need, it starts with ourselves. We're not going to make improvements in our communities, and we're not going to go around the world, and we're not going to make an impact globally, internationally. We're not going to do that until we make an impact inside this between our two ears. We got to first have an impact in here. And we got to have an impact in here. It is time for us to think differently. Stop thinking that you got to be broke. Stop thinking that you got to be unhappy. You got to be miserable. You don't have to be none of that unless that's what you want to be. We have to make up in our mind. Good evening, Christine. Thank you so much for joining. We have to make up in our mind, I want better, I'm going to do better, I am going to be better, and I'm going to have better. But a lot of us have settled in our mind that what I have is all I'm going to have. We'll start singing songs to ourselves that I ain't never lucky. Don't nothing never good happen to me. Something always good happen to me. I'm always blessed. Whatever I want, I have it. You got to speak life over yourself. Stop speaking death and defeat. Stop speaking negative over yourself. You joining in the crowd. You should be your number one cheerleader. You should tell yourself that you can do what other people think that you can't. You should tell yourself that you're able to do what other people don't even believe you can do. But you have to believe that you can. So I challenge you on tonight, as I get ready to get out of here, I challenge you to think differently. Think differently. Think differently. I see you, my sister, in my inbox. That's great. I'm super excited. Think differently. It is time out for us thinking that, GoFundMe is our new thing. It's time out for us thinking that, there's nothing wrong with, fundraisers, and there's nothing, but that's not our go-to. Let's put some things in place where we are able to have our name upon some buildings, where we are able to build up our communities, where we're able to leave a legacy in our name, where we're able to have foundations and scholarships, and we're able to do things in our communities and across our world, where we have put our hand, not where we have to participate. There's nothing wrong with participating, but it's good where you can be the one to say, this foundation was built because of 1, 2, 3, X, Y, Z, because of this and because of that. It's time for us to think differently. Some of us, we still challenge, accepted, already thinking differently. Yes. Some of us, we still thinking that, we got to be seen and not heard. Some of us, we can't even talk with eye contact. We're limping our handshakes, and our volume is not loud enough because we're scared to speak. Afraid of who and why? You got to stand up for what you want. You got to believe. Aretha Franklin, she said it best, RESPECT. It starts with me. You got to show people how to treat you. We got to do that. We got to do that. If we don't think we're worth nothing, guess what? They don't think you're worth nothing. Stop nickel and diming yourself. Stop thinking that it's not possible. There's a possibility for you to live the life of your dream. I don't just say that to say that. When I say I help individuals build unshakable confidence and stop procrastinating, get their dreams out of their head into the light, I mean just that. When I say I am a procrastination strategist, the reason I can talk about procrastination, the reason I can help people with their time, because I am a time owner. I own my time. I know what I do with my 1,440 minutes. Your time is money. See, a lot of times we say things that we don't even know why it's being said. Time is money. And money is time. And do you know that money will follow time? If you put in the time today, the money will come. See, we chasing money and we trying to put that thing ahead. You put in the time and you watch how the money come. You put in the time and you watch how the money will come. The problem is some of us, we are so selfish. People only treat you how you allow them to. Yes. Let me hear your voice. We got to stop sitting up. You know, my brother Anthony, you know, I have admired him. I've had the opportunity to meet him in person. And I just, when I see him, I just love he is a great host. I've seen him. I said, I tell people all the time, I said, if you go to Atlanta and you know Anthony, he is going to take you to some of the most prestigious places. I see him go to the most peaceful places, the most funful places, the good eating places and all those things. But you know what else I've noticed about my brother? Good evening, Rosetta. What else I noticed about Anthony, when he is not able to do that, he don't stop doing that to figure, well, I can't do it. I've seen him go on a picnic by himself. I see him get out even during this time of social distancing. And that's all about thinking differently. See, a lot of times we can't think different because we're so busy thinking what everybody else is thinking that we got to think what they think in order for us to be accepted. And see, this right here represents me well. I admire you too. I am real. I can't do phony. That's me. And thank you so much. I can't stand phony, fake people. I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to act like I can deal with you. I'm going to tell you, go ahead on. Yes, I'm going to tell you to go ahead on. But this right here represents me. It makes me no different with me standing out here. And who she thinks she is. I'm Onika. I am Onika. And that's one of my coaching clients, my prayer partner, Empowering 8 Sisters. She made me a graphic, and it's amazing. You are amazing. And you know, then I tell myself that I'm uniquely me. See, I don't worry about, you cannot be different and be the same. You cannot think differently and be the same. You may have thought that you couldn't do it. Think different. You may have thought that you would never have it. Think different. You may have thought that you would never do it. Think differently. I guarantee you, if you change the words that you speak, if you change the thoughts that you think, you watch how your life change. You watch how your finances change. You watch how your family change. And you watch how your future will change. Your future is so much brighter. I see you. I see you in the future. And the song saying you look so much better. You look so much better than when I first met you. You look so much better than when you was going on what somebody told you when you was in high school. You know, as Anthony say, I don't care. What is it? Two flying babies, two fat babies. I don't care a fat baby what people got to say. Think differently and watch. Watch how your life change. Changing your mindset, changing the mindset, it changes you. Stop telling yourself what you can't do. I tell myself I can do anything. Anything that I focus on, anything that I say I am going to do, I can do it. Because you know what gives me that hope? Because I see other people doing it. I don't give a fat baby. I love it. I see other people doing it. And when you see other people doing it, that's not a platform for you to be jealous. That's not a platform for you to be hateful. That's not a platform for you to be envious. That's a platform to give you hope to say, if they're doing it, I can do it. I may not do it as well as they do it. I may not do it like they do it, but I can do it. And when you tell yourself that you can do a thing, and you know the more you do it, The more you practice at it, guess what? The better you become. The better you become. So I'm not going to stay on here long, but this is a late night chat with Dr. O, Coach O, Onika, Amazing Onika, whatever you want to call me, and any other, whatever. It don't make a difference. Think different. That's what I want you to get out of this tonight. Think different. If you're going to do anything, think different thoughts. And you don't have to see it right now. Just believe it. Believe what you think. Believe what you say and watch. Watch how your life change. I'm excited. I am excited. I am excited. Why? Good evening, Nana. Thank you so much for joining. God designed my heart to do it, to please Him. Think different and watch how you change your life. So I'm excited, so excited that you joined me on tonight. Share this out. Share it out. Share it with somebody. And remember, you don't have to be where you are. Where you are is a choice. That's because you are not choosing to do something different. It is time for us to get out of our box. It is time for us to break the traditional, systematic way of thinking. Think different, move different, walk different, and have different. Great words. Think outside of the box. Yes. I know you was told to color in the lines and all these different sorts of types of things, but you know what? Step out the lines. You can step out the lines and not stumble. You don't have to be drunk to be on the other side of the line. Baby, get on the other side of the line and see what's out there, because things are happening outside of your comfort zone. Things are happening outside of what you can imagine, think, or even desire. Look, I'm getting ready to get out of here. If you're new to me, this is your girl, Coach O, founder and CEO of Action Speaks Volume Incorporated, known as your procrastination strategist, behavior change expert. I help you to build unshakable confidence. Stop procrastinating, and you got it. Get your dreams out of your head into your life. I'm super excited. Can't wait to see my Empowering 8 Inner Circle on tomorrow, and we have some guests. Super excited, so I'll talk to y'all later. I gotta go. Yeah. So talk to you later. Bye.